There's a game being played all around you, right now. Every conversation, every promotion, every relationship, and most people don't even know the rules exist until they've already lost. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He watched kingdoms rise and fall. He saw good men destroyed and calculating ones thrive, and he wrote it all down, not because he was evil, but because he refused to lie about how power actually works. Today, we're going to walk through 21 of his most critical observations, not ancient political theory, but timeless principles that show up every single day in your office, your relationships, your entire life. By the end of this, you'll see the world differently, and that awareness might be the most valuable thing you gain this year. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Machiavelli has been called a monster. His name literally became an insult. Machiavellian. It means manipulative, cruel, willing to do anything for power. But here's what nobody tells you. Machiavelli never said you should be cruel. He said you need to understand cruelty, because the world contains cruel people, and if you're blind to how they operate, you're not virtuous, you're just vulnerable. He wasn't writing a guide for villains. He was writing a survival manual for people living in a world where villains already exist. Big difference. So who was this man? Machiavelli lived in Florence, Italy, during the Renaissance. He worked in government. He watched powerful families manipulate entire cities. He saw alliances form and shatter overnight. He witnessed leaders who were loved get overthrown and leaders who were feared maintain control for decades. And when he lost his own position and was tortured and exiled, he had nothing but time to think about what he'd seen. What he concluded wasn't pretty, but it was honest. And that honesty is why his work still matters, because human nature hasn't changed. The setting has. We don't have ruling princes anymore, but we have CEOs, managers, politicians, influencers, people with power over your career, your income, your peace of mind. And many of them play by rules they'll never admit out loud. So let's talk about those rules. The 21 laws Machiavelli would teach if he were here today. Law 1. Never outshine the master. This is about understanding hierarchy. If you work under someone, your job isn't just to be good, it's to make them look good. The moment you make your boss feel threatened or insecure, you've created an enemy. Not because they're bad people, because they're human. Machiavelli saw assistants who were too talented get pushed out. Advisors who knew too much get silenced. It wasn't fair, but it was predictable. Today, this shows up everywhere. You crush a presentation and your manager takes credit. You stay quiet. Why? Because fighting that battle costs you more than it's worth. You're playing a longer game. Law 2. Never trust too much. Machiavelli watched alliances crumble the moment one side no longer needed the other. Trust isn't evil, but blind trust is strategic suicide. This doesn't mean becoming paranoid, it means staying aware. In modern life, this is the colleague who's friendly until they're competing with you for the same role. It's the business partner who's loyal until a better offer comes along. You can build relationships. You should, but always keep a part of yourself that observes without attachment. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. The person who announces every move they're planning gives away their power. Machiavelli said the best strategists keep people guessing, not through lies, through silence, through misdirection. In your life, this might look like not telling your entire office you're job hunting until you've signed the offer, not announcing your business idea until it's already moving, not revealing your relationship boundaries until someone's already tested them. Loose lips don't just sink ships. They sink careers and kill leverage. Let me give you a real example. Two guys work at the same company. Both want the same promotion. Guy A is vocal. He tells everyone he deserves it. He complains about the current manager. He makes it clear he's ambitious. Guy B is quiet. He does his work. He builds relationships with decision makers without making it obvious. He asks questions that make him seem curious, not desperate. When the promotion comes, it goes to Guy B. Why? Because Guy A showed his hand. He became predictable. Guy B stayed valuable because nobody knew exactly what he wanted or what he'd do next. That's Machiavelli in a conference room. Law 4. Say less than necessary. Powerful people don't over-explain. They don't justify. They don't fill silence with nervous words. Machiavelli knew that the more you talk, the more you reveal. And the more you reveal, the easier you are to manipulate. This law shows up every time you're in a negotiation, every time someone asks you a loaded question, every time you feel pressure to defend yourself. The person who masters silence controls the frame. Silence makes others uncomfortable, and discomfort makes people talk, and when they talk, they give you information. Law 5. Guard your reputation with your life. Machiavelli said reputation is the cornerstone of power. Once it's damaged, everything becomes harder. Today, this is your personal brand. Your name in your industry. What people say about you when you're not in the room. One lie. One messy breakup handled poorly. One public meltdown. It can take years to rebuild, so you move carefully. You think before you post. You choose battles that matter. And you never, ever, let emotion destroy what you've built. Law 6. Create an air of mystery. People are drawn to what they don't fully understand. Machiavelli noticed that leaders who revealed everything became boring, predictable, forgettable. But the ones who held something back stayed interesting. In modern terms, this is why oversharing kills attraction, why the person who texts paragraphs explaining their feelings loses value, why the entrepreneur who posts every detail of their process becomes less intriguing than the one who drops results without showing all the work. Mystery isn't about being fake. It's about knowing that scarcity creates curiosity. Law 7. Let others do the work but take the credit. This sounds ruthless, and it can be, but Machiavelli was describing what actually happens at the top of every hierarchy. Leaders delegate, they coordinate, and they take responsibility for outcomes, good or bad. If you're the leader, this is part of the role. If you're not, this is what you're watching out for, because if you're doing all the work and someone else is taking all the credit, you're not in a partnership, you're in a trap. Now let's pause for a second, because I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds cold, maybe even wrong, and that's fair. But here's the thing. Knowing these laws doesn't mean you have to use all of them. It means you can recognize when they're being used on you. That's the difference between awareness and corruption. Machiavelli wasn't telling you to become a monster. He was showing you how monsters think so you don't get eaten. Let's keep going. Law 8. Make people come to you. Machiavelli understood that the person who chases loses frame. The person who waits, who creates value so strong that others seek them out, holds the power. This applies to dating, to business, to friendships. When you're always available, always reaching out, always accommodating, you train people to devalue you. But when you're selective, when your time and attention are earned, people treat you differently. Law 9. Win through actions, not arguments. Machiavelli saw countless debates where the smartest person in the room lost because they couldn't stop arguing. Talking doesn't build empires, results do. In your life, this is simple. Stop trying to convince people you're right. Show them. The coworker who doubts you doesn't need a speech, they need to see you succeed. The ex who thinks you won't move on doesn't need a text, they need to see you thriving. Let your life be the argument. Law 10. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. This one's harsh, but Machiavelli noticed that misery spreads, not because unhappy people are bad, but because their energy is contagious. If you spend all your time around people who complain, who blame, who never take responsibility, you'll start sounding like them. This doesn't mean abandon everyone going through hard times. It means protect your mental space from people who are committed to staying stuck. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Machiavelli said the most secure position is the one where you're needed, not liked, not feared, needed. In modern life, this is developing a skill nobody else on your team has. Being the person who knows how the system works. Becoming the friend who always shows up. It's not manipulation, it's creating value so undeniable that removing you creates a problem. Law 12. Disarm and infuriate with selective honesty. Sometimes the truth is the best strategy. Machiavelli knew that one moment of raw honesty could completely disarm suspicion. People expect lies. When you tell the truth, especially an uncomfortable one, they don't know how to respond. This works in apologies, in negotiations, in conflict, but it has to be selective. If you're honest about everything, you lose the power of surprise. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to self-interest, never mercy. Machiavelli was blunt about this. People don't help you because they feel bad for you. They help you because it benefits them. This isn't cynical, it's just true. So when you're asking for a favor, for a promotion, for support, don't lead with your need. Lead with what they gain. Show them how helping you makes their life better. That's how deals get done. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Machiavelli said the best information comes from people who don't realize they're giving it to you. This doesn't mean backstabbing. It means listening more than you talk. Asking questions. letting people reveal their priorities, their fears, their plans. In every interaction, you're either gathering intelligence or giving it away. Most people give it away. Let me tell you another story. A guy starts a business with his childhood best friend. They split everything 50-50. The friend handles operations. Our guy handles sales. For 2 years, everything's fine. Then one day, the friend announces he's leaving and taking 3 of their biggest clients with him. How? Because while our guy was out selling, the friend was quietly building relationships with those clients, planting seeds, positioning himself as the irreplaceable one. By the time it happened, the contracts were already rewritten. The friend wasn't evil. He was just playing a game our guy didn't know existed. That's the cost of ignorance. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Machiavelli believed half measures create future problems. If someone has truly wronged you, if they've proven they'll do it again, you don't leave room for a comeback. In modern life, this isn't about violence, it's about boundaries. It's about cutting people off completely when they've shown you who they are. No second chances for the person who betrayed you. No leaving doors open for the ex who destroyed your trust. Mercy is beautiful, but mercy towards someone who will hurt you again isn't virtue, it's self-destruction. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect. Machiavelli noticed that presence, when overdone, breeds contempt. The leader who's always around becomes taken for granted. The friend who's always available stops being valued. Scarcity creates value. This is why the best leaders know when to step back. Why the most attractive people aren't always in your face. Absence reminds people what they had. Law 17. Keep others in suspense. Predictability is the enemy of influence. Machiavelli said when people can predict you, they can control you. So you stay a little unpredictable. Not chaotic, but flexible. The boss who always says yes becomes easy to manipulate. The partner who always forgives becomes easy to disrespect. Keep people guessing just enough that they stay engaged. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is not safety. Machiavelli saw leaders who tried to hide behind walls and rules. They all fell. Because real security comes from relationships, from alliances, from being valuable to others in your life. This means you can't control your way to peace. You can't isolate your way to safety. You build trust. You build networks. You stay connected. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Not everyone deserves the same strategy. Machiavelli said you must read people accurately. Some respond to kindness. Some only respect strength. Some will take advantage if you show vulnerability. Others will respect you more for it. Wisdom is knowing the difference. The same approach doesn't work on everyone. Learn to adjust. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. This doesn't mean be disloyal. It means stay flexible. Machiavelli watched people bind themselves to sinking ships out of pride or obligation. The world changes. People change. Opportunities change. The person who refuses to adapt gets left behind. Keep your options open until you're absolutely sure. Law 21. Play the perfect courtier. Machiavelli's final lesson. Blend in. Master the social game. Don't stand out in ways that threaten people. Don't be so different that you become a target. Fit in just enough that you're trusted. Then operate with freedom. This is the art of being underestimated, of being overlooked while you build, of seeming harmless while you move. So what do you do with all this? Here's a challenge. For the next 7 days, just observe, watch the people around you. Watch who talks too much, who stays silent, who gets what they want, who gets ignored. Don't judge it. Don't react. Just see it. You'll start noticing patterns. You'll see these laws playing out everywhere. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. That's when the real power starts. Not the power to manipulate, the power to protect yourself, the power to move through the world with your eyes open. Machiavelli wasn't a villain, he was a realist, and realism isn't pretty, but it's honest. And in a world full of people who'll smile while they undermine you, honesty about how things actually work might be the kindest gift you can give yourself. If this changed how you see things, let me know in the comments. What's one situation where you saw these laws play out in real life? And if you want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe, because we're just getting started. This is Dark Psyche, where awareness becomes armor.